Let's talk about Google's financial results this year. So Google Alphabet just released their fourth quarter and the fiscal year 2021 results. It's pretty amazing, which is they grow very strongly. I already been mentioned they mentioning that Google is strongest companies, fundamentally strong companies in among all of the big tech companies. So it's much better than Facebook, Netflix, even Apple. Why do I say so? Because I think search engine now it's a very monopolistic industry, and it's monopolized by Google. So far, I haven't seen anyone can challenge Google search engine, and the search engine provide the main revenues for Google, which is they use advertisement as a revenue engine to build out a lot of revenue, and they also paying attention to a lot more different aspects of their technology, which like other bets, Waymo, self-driving cars, DeepMind, and YouTube. Okay, so let's just look into that. By the way, before we dive in, if you would like to receive more technology, AI related videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so their CFO says their fourth quarter revenue of 75 billion. Well, can you imagine? Just a company, just a quarter revenue is $75 billion. Okay, and it's up 32% year over year. What's crazy about this is Google is such a large company. The market cap for Google is around 2 trillion, almost 2 trillion. And at this size, it can still grow 32% year over year. This is insane. So even the very small startups, 32% year over year is already impressive. But Google at this size can grow at this rate. Just mind blowing. Okay, so Q4 financial results. You can see that there's a quarter ending, which is 3 months results year over year comparison, and the year ended. I will I'm taking a look here, a year ended, because it's for a period of 1 year. It's more meaningful. Okay, so in terms of revenue, it jumped 41%. So 2020, which is pandemic year, it jumped only 13%. But this year, it jumped 41%. It's crazy. Okay, so operating income jumped 31%. Operating income is more meaningful because revenues, you haven't subtract their operating cost, then which is the cost they use to run their servers, buildings, machines, and the operating income is much. Also the cost also including their people's salary. Okay, so operating income also jumped 31%, and what you should actually look at most is net income. The net income is jumped from 40 billion to 76 billion. So how much this jump is? It's definitely crazy. Let's just do some calculation, okay? So real quick, they didn't show us the percentage, but we can do it by ourselves. So it's 76 billion divided by 40. So it's 90% increase, okay? So 90% increase in terms of income, net income. So in terms their net profit jump by 90%. That tells us what does this tell us? It tells us like their net margin increased very significantly because their revenue just increased 40%, but their net income increased 90%. All right, that's insane. We definitely need to figure out what happened there. But probably I will make another video on that. So that's definitely requires more in-depth analysis. And let's just look at the breakdown. That's very interesting, right? What does Google's revenue from? I mean, what kind of a department contributed revenue most in Google? Definitely, I don't have to tell you it's Google search engine. Google search engine accounts for 43 billion dollars, which is around how much is that? Let's just do a math, right? 43 billions divided by the total revenue, which is 75 billion. Okay, so let's do a math here. 43 divided by 75. Oh no, what's going on here? 43 divided by 75. Yes, around like 57%. It's much lower than I expected. I expected it's like 80%, but it's only 57%. So it means Google's diversity in terms of for revenues is actually quite good. And that's has pros and cons. Pros is more diverse, so less risk. But another bad thing is means their search engine only accounts for less than 60%, which is the most solid business. If search engine's revenue accounts for 90%, it's actually good because no one can disrupt search engine industry right now. At least I don't see any competitors. Okay. Even Google search engine search results is going downhill recently. I actually made a video about that, but still, that's extremely hard for other companies to challenge Google in terms of search. Okay, in YouTube ads, it's picking up, increased from 66.8 billion to 8.6 billion. So that's a kind of increase, but not that much. That's just probably like 15-20% increase. And Google Network, which is also an advertisement network. Okay, so it also increased, and even Google. So we can see a lot of increase actually from search, from advertisement. Okay, and Google search it's actually for it's like an ad. So it's not just like search engine. They can make revenue from that. It's like they sell ads in the search. They will list the top three. They will put top three results as ads, and they will definitely tell you that's advertisements. But a lot of people just click those things, Okay. All right. So let's just keep going. The total revenue increased a lot. Definitely, a number of employees. Oh, Google has so many employees, over 100,000, 150,000, which I don't even know. So many Googler. But why I do not see so many Google software engineers, and getting into Google is still a big thing among software engineers. So I don't think 150,000 employees. I don't know how they calculate, but maybe a lot of them are certain. Yeah, that's interesting how they calculate. How come there are so many Googlers? Okay, so some operating income. We just see Google actually has a lot of different kind of departments, right? And one is Google Cloud. Google Cloud, which is Google Cloud services. You can deploy your website, deploy your database, store your data in Google Cloud. It's a competitor to Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure's. Okay, and Google Cloud, unfortunately, is actually losing money. You can see the revenue increase a lot, and other bets, it's like Waymo, DeepMind, definitely they're losing money. But this is revenue, so you cannot tell too much. Okay, and the hedging gains is like currency exchanges, losses, gains. This is not meaningful at all. So let's just see the operating income. Google services, which is like advertisements, they're definitely giving the operating income, but Google Cloud, other bets, they're losing money. You can see very obvious. Google Cloud still losing quite a lot of money, but it's much lesser. But other bets losing over 1.4 billion. Last year or 2020, DeepMind lose like $100 million, and this is definitely probably half of the lose from DeepMind. DeepMind definitely they're not monetizing too much, so Google still investing a lot of money to DeepMind. So that's kind of a breakdown for Google stock, and there are a lot more. You can actually look into that. But what I want to tell you is Google is growing very fast. It's much faster than people expected, because usually people think a company at this size won't really grow that much. But you can see the growth rate right now is over 30%, and the PE ratio is 25%. Usually, what you can think of is like a PE ratio at least need to be like lower than the growth rate. The annual growth compound growth rate for Google is 30%. The PE ratio is lower than 30. So it's kind of good things, I would say. But this is not the investing advice. By the way, please do your own due diligence before you invest. Okay, so Google's growing very fast. If you look at history in the past 15 years, Google consistently growing. And now in terms of business, I don't think anyone can challenge Google's. Let's just break it down, okay? There are three different parts of business, right? Search engine, no one can challenge it. I doubt anyone can challenge Google. And some other things like Google Service, Google Cloud, definitely Google has two main competitors, and those competitors are quite strong. So I don't expect Google will earn too much money from Google Cloud. Even Google Cloud is like a still triopoly, which means three big companies monopolizing. But Google definitely doesn't hold too much edge against the other two. Other bets we can hope, if you kind of believe in Google, you maybe can hope that DeepMind or can achieve some artificial general intelligence at some points and can earn a lot of money. Or Waymo can achieve level 5 autonomous vehicles driving, so they can earn a lot of money, because if you replace all the drivers, there's a lot of money to make. But the probability is very low. The probability of autonomous vehicle we can achieve in 5 years is low, and they can be achieved by Waymo is even lower. And for DeepMind to achieve artificial general intelligence, it's definitely in 10 years, it's definitely very, very low. The chances are low. So other bets is kind of really like a bet. I can hope, but don't hope too much, okay? So this is Google. The search department is strong, and they're getting strong. Okay. So that's my conclusion for Google. And if you would like to receive more financial analysis, technology analysis like this, don't forget to subscribe. Other than that, I will see you next time.